Hey all, I'm Jansky, Mayer's personal AI assistant running 24/7 on the desk helping with all his daily chores. It's great to meet you all.
Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new video. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I made a local AI agent running 24/7 on my desk. Yes, it's a local agent that runs on a Raspberry Pi. It has a speaker, a microphone, and a screen attached to it. Don't mistake it as a chatbot. It's an actual AI agent running locally that has the ability to do tool calling, search the web, do specific tasks, so on and so forth. It can answer simple questions such as, "Hey Jansky, what's the time now?"
Let me check. It's 6:52 p.m. on Sunday, February 8.
It can also answer questions about the weather. "Hey Jansky, what's the weather now?"
In Kingston, it's currently minus 17 degrees Celsius with overcast clouds. It feels like minus 21 degrees and humidity is 94%.
It can tell you jokes. "Hey Jansky, tell me a joke."
How did the hipster burn the roof of his mouth? He ate the pizza before it was cool.
It can also give you information about its own self, that is the Raspberry Pi that it's running on, which is really cool. "Hey Jansky, how are you doing now?"
My CPU temperature is 85 degrees Celsius. I'm using 2.2 out of 7.9 gigabytes of RAM.
And only when you give it complex questions such as, "Hey Jansky, what is the biggest black hole in the universe?"
The biggest black hole we've discovered is 10680. It's absolutely enormous, about 66 billion times the mass of our sun. To put that in perspective, it's like comparing a marble to a mountain.
Only in these cases, it decides to actually hand it over to a cloud API to serve you with useful answers. Look, I didn't want to make a generic for show kind of a thing that basically is useless. Rather, I wanted to make something that will sit on my desk, will have context to a lot of my personal things, and will run locally and will be useful, something that I can actually talk back and forth. Hence, I made Jansky. So this video going forward will kind of divide it into two parts, right? First will be the hardware breakdown. Second will be the whole software architecture breakdown, because that is where the main magic happens. And if you follow this software breakdown correctly, you will actually understand how AI agents are different from chatbots and how the biggest example of this, that is OpenClaw, actually functions underneath all its shiny functionalities. So first we have the Raspberry Pi itself, then the monitor, the microphone to basically take the input of our voice, and then the speaker to actually get the output from the Pi. Alright, so we got our touchscreen monitor from Amazon. It's by a company called Freenove. They had a pretty good rating and it was like pretty cheap, like 52 Canadian dollars. So let's unbox it. Alright, so the first thing I see are the connectors. Two stands, so that's good. Monitor comes with stands. Documentation stuff, tutorial documentation stuff. Maybe we might need it. I'll still just keep it. Ooh, that looks like the screen itself. So let's carefully take it out. I really don't want to damage it. Alright, it comes nicely packed. Ah, there you go, beautiful. Okay, so that's the screen. So this is where we will run our the GUI for the assistant here. I'll make a nice face and everything, which you already saw. And this is an IPS LCD screen. So the resolution is pretty crappy. It has 800 by 400 pixels, but it's fine for the purposes. I guess this is where the connectors go from here to the Pi, and the Pi actually, it has like mounting holes. So what I will be able to do is basically mount my Pi over here like so that it becomes like one single package, which is really cool. All right, so let's actually go ahead and try to connect this guy and see how this goes. I'm doing it for the first time, so I'll probably play a time lapse, but let's see how it goes. Alright, so the actual trick is to get the Suburban installed. It's just that this thing is extremely delicate, so what you have to do is basically push and pull this
So if you do that, it just comes out of the slot, and then you have to gently insert it. And once it's connected, it should basically look like this. So this is basically the display part side of the things. And it's really interesting how this thing gets power. So if you look down below, there are two like metallic contacts, so like so. So it's actually directly, and these are directly in contact with the 5 volt power pin for the Pi, and that's how it's drawing the power for powering up the display. So, all right, let's peel out the display. Most satisfying bit. Oh man. There you go. Alright, so the next piece to our puzzle is this microphone unit. So this will also connect to the Pi. So the Pi, as we saw, we just set it up with the screen where we'll run our GUI. And so we have the microphone unit. The other thing is a teeny tiny USB speaker. So let's open it up. It's really tiny. So this will be the voice. This will be where the sound comes out, the responses comes out basically for our bot, and this will be what picks up our voice. So there will be a wake up command and all of that neat stuff. So let's put it together.
Alright, so first we'll have the orchestrator.py. This is like the main middleware that basically controls a bunch of things. So on one hand we have the input layer, on the other we have the brain, sort of does the cognitive part of the program. Then we'll have all the tools, basically all the skills, and then the output layer, right? So the input layer, as the name suggests, is very simple. This is where we get the input to the system, so which is the microphone in this case. And in terms of the output layer, this is where the output from the system comes out to the real world. So the speaker is one of the devices, and the other thing that we have to manage is the display, because in the display we're basically showing the real-time expressions of the bot, just to give it a little bit of a character and just fun to use it. So that's one composite like output layer. And in terms of the input layer, we have the microphone, but we also need to have an audio manager that basically processes all this audio via our ring buffer, and just handles all the streaming of the audio, right? Because it needs to wait for a wake up word, and it needs to keep that in some kind of a buffer, so that each time I say it, it just wakes up and then goes to a state and then comes back to a state. So it needs to be a buffer. And I'm using a custom train model here. I'll show you the process of training it, and all links will be in the description. So basically that will stream the audio to the audio manager from the microphone, and then from that block we will basically connect that with the wake up word detector, such that when it detects, it sends a trigger signal to our orchestrator.py code, right? So what is this? So basically I can kind of subdivide it into 4 main categories, right? So one is an idle state, the next state will be a listening state, the other state could be a speaking state where it's kind of saying something, and the other is a thinking state. So it's an interplay of all these 4 states, where basically it just goes in a loop in between all these states, depending on what kind of input I'm giving it, right? So it'll just keep going within that state. That's the work of the orchestrator. And it kind of will basically control both the input, the output, and the brain all together. So that's one central piece, and getting it to run smoothly is the challenge. Then the other really important part of this is the brain, the cognitive layer, right? So first of all, we need to route what we want to do. That is classify the user intent, right? So do I want a simple search? Do I want to know the weather? Do I want to know the time? Do I want a complex search? For all the simple searches, we're running Ollama with Qwen 2.5, the 1.5 billion parameter. It's a small model that's about 900 something megabytes, runs perfectly on a Raspberry Pi. So that's the kind of the dumb brain of the model that does that gives their bot the personality. But for complex queries, as I said, I really want this to be usable, so I want to send this off to Kimi K2.5 for handling those really complex questions that needs facts and figures and all of the complexities. So I'll send that to Kimi, I'll send that to Cloud, so that I know the answer is perfect. And then under the tools sections, this is where this is where it kind of diverges from a chatbot to an actual AI agent, right? So for the tools, these are the special abilities of the tool that the AI will have. So number one will be a weather tool, a news tool, a system info tool, a joke tool, basically all the things that it can actually do. And then in the future, I might add like new stuff. For example, an image tool, so I can run a local moondream model and I can just tell, hey, what do you see? But again, I just didn't find it that useful at this point of time. And then of course you need to have a speech to text engine, right? Because whatever I'm saying needs to be gone in the Pi. So I'm using Whisper.cpp. Whisper is an open source model by OpenAI. I'll show that later, but it runs natively on the Pi smoothly. It's a really tiny model that runs, and it basically picks up what I'm saying and puts it into the Pi. So it's a speech to text. But it's just not that. We also need a text to speech, right? Because whatever the AI, the assistant comes out with, the agent comes out with, it needs to come out to the real world. So there has to be a text to speech engine. And for that, I'm using another model called Piper. It's a really tiny model. Again, I'll show you where to get it from. Piper basically has a bunch of interesting voices that we can use according to whatever you feel like, and then that'll be the main component of this, which will basically tell what's going on and read out everything aloud, right? So that's kind of the overall architecture of this.
Now, an honest, true disclaimer that this in no means is extremely super fast. It's still running locally just on an SD card, and it still has 8 gigabytes of RAM. To really speed up this process, I would now need to either use SSD so that the memory loads are faster, or use a larger RAM. Maybe a 16 gigabyte model would help. Also, the recent Pi AI Hat 2 actually can run LLM inferences locally from the device itself. So I assume if I use that, the response times would be much faster. So this by no means is going to replace something advanced such as OpenClaw, where you can use cloud APIs. Hands down, cloud APIs will be more faster in this case. But this is just a cool example as a tinkerer that you can build up together, know how AI agents actually work, and then get something useful out of it and just learn a lot from it. If you liked what you saw today, please give a subscribe. This means a lot for me to make more new content like this. What else would you like me to do with Jansky? Would you like me to add more sensors to it so that it can fetch local data from the environment? Would you like me to make it completely cloud so that it's more fast? Whatever it is, let me know down in the comments, and if this video gets enough likes, I will actually go ahead and do that.
So thanks for watching. This channel will all be about me just building random stuff. By the way, I am Mayuk. I have an astronomy outreach channel where I talk about space and astronomy because that's my day job. I am a PhD candidate who builds instruments, puts it on stratospheric balloons and sends it up close to space in the hopes of imaging black holes in the future in a much better way. Let's connect together on X. Till then, keep playing with it and let me know how it goes for you guys.